I remember days when the sun shone and laughter could be heard from the tavern.
Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and well, it's time to pick up the pieces after the disaster that was last episode. Let's see, we've spent all the gold we can afford to spend while still being able to outfit another mission, so let's see what we can get. Also, RIP the 5 people we lost last episode, though with my luck we may end up seeing some of them again. Honestly, Basanj is the one I'm going to miss the most. He was our only bounty hunter, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. We do have Seguier or Fontamai, I mean, for mark exploitation. Alright. So we can stave off sickness and get a caregiver's convention. We can get All Saints Day and get another Rampart Shield to replace the one we lost if we gather 3 Holy Relics. What kind of champion missions are on offer? So you can get a Lucky Talisman for a Grave Robber in exchange for a Skirmish mission. The Lock of Fury for an Abomination in exchange for a Scouting mission. Another Blasphemous Vial for a Plague Doctor. Let's see. Or we could get a Tome of Holy Healing to replace the one that we lost. Let's see. How do I want to do this? We really need to train our excess of medium level people so that they can become high level people. So I think I'm gonna do this one. I'm gonna bring Fontamai. Gonna bring Damour can be the medic. And then what can Seguier do in position? Seguier would do very poorly in position 2, so I can't bring Seguier and Fontamai together, because otherwise I'd have to leave the Vestal at home, and I'm not doing that. However, Koliar can do everything except Inspiring Tomb in position 2. And then for our front runner, we need someone who's decent in melee combat. I think Bowen can do the job. Oh right, I forgot, we now have 2 different people named Sordaval. I forgot, we got a new Resolve 3 Aura Blessed. Alright. So unequip all the trinkets, sort them by class restriction. So I can get Medic's Greaves, Sturdy Greaves, or Vengeful Greaves. I'm gonna go with Vengeful Greaves and Medic's Greaves. For the Vestal, we get the Sacred Scroll, and we actually don't have a Tome of Holy Healing anymore. Well, that's another reason to go on this mission. For the Jester, critical dice, absolutely. And the Dark Tambourine. Even with the torch level above 26, just the plus 12% death blow resistance is going to make that worth it. And for you, do we okay, we do have leper specific equipment. Fortunate Armlet, fixing the leper's most prominent weakness, and the extra stress isn't much of an issue because he has Solemnity. And then the Healing Armlet, which increases the effectiveness of Solemnity. Let me make sure he has that equipped. Let's see. I think I'm going to drop Withstand for Purge. Alright. And we are going for the quest that gives us a Tome of Holy Healing, which is good, because we need another one. And let's get some supplies. I am not forgetting torches again. Alright. Bring ourselves a good number of shovels. 1 more medicinal herbs. Plenty of food. You're gonna Gonna make sure you got plenty of food and plenty of supplies. You guys are gonna be dying in the lap of luxury. Alright. A bit more of the anti-venom, because there's a lot of venom. Right. I don't need 3 skeleton keys. 2 will do it, and a little holy water. Alright, that should take care of this. And yeah, disease could be a bit of a problem. Well, we've pretty well upgraded the medical ward, so disease at this point is really more of an inconvenience than a problem. Though it is also kind of funny, we get this information from a loading screen for a mission in the Warrens after we've finished provisioning. It's like, it's
They breed quickly down there in the dark, but perhaps we can slay them even faster.
It's like, did you not bring enough anti-venom? Well, it's too late now! And we found loot.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles.
Ooh.
Paid for in blood.
And corpse eaters. Hey, corpse eaters, we really don't need to be fighting. We're on a skirmish mission. We're gonna be making plenty of corpses, and then you can eat them. See? Just stand back and let us do our work. But no, they insist on fighting. We can pray. Well, it missed. Also, I can't help but notice that the corpse eater appears to have the skull of a horse inside of its mouth. Alright, I'm gonna go with Solemnity. And this thing isn't gonna die to 1 sniper shot, so let's back that up with Harvest. Ooh. And I'll do Dazzling Light on the large corpse eater because it's more dangerous. Not that it did any good. And yep, someone's about to be munched. And she's blighted too. This is why we bring anti-venom. Because the Warrens are full of disease and blight in equal measure. Don't you know?
The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
And Harvest should take care of these two. I said, oh, okay, bleeding will finish the job. Because this thing takes a 3rd Harvest to go down. I'm gonna be surprised. No, not really. Disappointed? No, my expectations were already pretty low. Slightly miffed, I guess. We'll go with that.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Ooh, and I get another opportunity for sniper shot. And there we go.
Perhaps the turning point.
And there we go. Still... Oh! Here I am about to complain about the lack of scouting, and we have scouting. And no room battles anywhere so far. Oh no.
Waiting to be spent.
A fortune of 2 food and 50 gold. Yeah, I need to get this quirk treated. This is becoming a problem. Bowen, your eating habits have become
Such
the most...
blockages are unsurprising. These tunnels predate even the earliest settlers.
Yeah, Bowen, your eating habits have become the most disgusting thing about you, and that's saying something. And more pigs. See, Mr. Corpse Eater, if you just wait a minute, we'll kill these 2, and then you can eat their corpses. How's that sound? Alright, I'm gonna mark the marcher. And as a show of good faith to the Corpse Eater, I'm attacking the Reaver first. And 1 good harvest should put the marcher in kill range. And the Reaver is probably the most damaging member of their team. See, seriously, Corpse Eater, just wait like 2 seconds. Oh, no, you won't do that? Okay, it is on now. You are going down. And Drums of Doom again. And you're supposed to be a corpse eater, but you're attacking alive people. That's false advertising, is what that is. I need to talk to your manager. Alright, that's the end of him.
Gently. This is how a life is taken.
Let's just quick heal everyone. That's a lot less effective without the Book of Holy Healing.
Continue the onslaught.
Sniper shot ends the marcher.
All.
And we managed to one-shot the corpse eater. See, you could have just had a fine dinner all to yourself. You had to get greedy.
Is a slow and insidious killer.
Okay, let's see what happens with holy water. Had no effect. I've really got nothing for the pile of scrolls. Alright, and that's the end of the scouting, so we still have to go to the end of this hallway anyway. Just to confirm there's not enemies down here.
Mind that such missteps are the exception, and not the rule.
Bloody dice, ooh, that's nice. And deeds. Let's see. Well, the bloody dice are nice. I actually think I like that better than the increased critical chance, since I'm mostly relying on bleed skills. Ah, finally a room battle. And like all room battles in the Warrens, it opens with vomit. Alright. Who do we want to go for? The Gladiator? I'll go with the Marcher because it's going to be difficult for anyone else to hit it. And good old miss for the old gods. We use Dazzling Light on the Gladiator for now.
The light, the promise of safety.
Well, she resisted the bleeding, that's good. Now let's focus on killing the Reaver while the Gladiator is stunned. And the increased bleeding chance is already paying off.
Precision and power.
He's bleeding for 6 and that's basically the end of both of them.
Cuts on its own.
Just don't ask the Jester where he learned how to do that. Do not ask the Jester where he learned how to kill people. You really don't want to know. I mean, I hear it's hilarious, but I'm afraid to find out. Ow. And now he's bleeding for 9. Well, Solemnity will at least start the process of fixing all of that. And I'm gonna have the Jester dirk stab his way forward.
A death by inches.
The squishing sound from Rend for the Old Gods always makes me cringe. Just a little bit. Alright, Divine Comfort. Ooh, critical Divine Comfort. That's nice. You're down to bleeding for 4. I think you can just suck it up. It's only a little bleeding. You're only bleeding for 10% of the maximum hit points. I'm actually going to equip the Redemption Armlet in place of the Healing Armlet. And then, I think I'll hold on to everything else for now. And we have a room battle up here, so we did have to go all the way up this hallway. I also should switch back to the default party order. Because if the leper is going to have a trinket that increases his damage in position 1, he needs to actually be in position 1. But I mean, I've learned from hard and painful experience that in reality, everyone's virtue chance is essentially 0. So, just no one ever comes out virtuous. Everyone is everyone is always afflicted when their stress reaches 100, so never try to increase virtue chance, because it's always 0. So having an extra, you can't reduce 0 by 3%, so...
Eradicated.
And you see, it's already paying off.
A devastating blow.
The Jester is clearly having fun. Now let's dazzle the Gladiator. Now it just leaves the Marcher to get to do something to us. And that something is probably going to be giving somebody a headache. Alright, the Vestal is marked. Well, let's just kill the Gladiator.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Slice, slice, slice! And I really shouldn't be surprised that the Marcher is faster than Fontamai, though. You know, we're doing so well, I'm just gonna quick top up everyone's health. He said immediately before the party wipe. Well, let's end the Marcher.
Annihilated.
And while the Leper may not be able to hit anything this turn... Wait, he could use Purge, but I don't want to use Purge. Because the Leper is the only one who can't hit the spawn. So, I'm going to use those corpses to keep it in position where it can be hit by sniper shot and slice off. Okay, we already have 2 people who have diseases. We have lethargy and hysterical blindness. Now let's finish this thing.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Alright. We don't have any holy water anymore, so there's no point in doing anything with that. And a trap has managed to appear. How did we get hit by that?
Machinations spring to life with a singular
I
purpose.
swear the game does this just to torment me.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Wait, who am I kidding? Everything this game does is just to torment me. Even the good things, they're really just there to lull me into a false sense of security. I'm not paranoid, you're paranoid. And begin the backtracking, because there's at least one room battle over in this area. Though I'll admit the scouting saved us a decent amount of legwork.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
I didn't even see that one on the map. They just came out of nowhere. We now have insane ninjas. Like, this is like a ninja crazy person who just like leaps out of the shadows to ramble at you about the end of the world. I'm not even gonna worry about marking him this time. Yeah, it takes the same number of turns to kill him without marking. Ow. Divine Comfort. I probably should have just used Divine Grace on the Leper. Oh, right, because the guys you can hit are in stealth. You move backward. That way you can use Inspiring Tune. And in the meantime, Hugh can hit the door. On paper. And Inspiring Tune. Which I momentarily forgot only affects one person. Either way, if we have a crazy person, we're going to need our musician to hold back the crazy. Alright.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
Okay, that's the end of the crazy person. That just leaves the gorers. Alright. Let's see if we can end the spawn. We can! Oh, and he can hit them with Harvest from position 3. Which is good, because their bleed resistance is terribly unimpressive, even though their
confluence of skill and purpose.
protection is really high. We still need to hit them with something else before they actually die, but these guys don't deal so well with bleeding. Wait a second. They're both bleeding for 3, and this one only has 4 hit points.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And so the leper decided to do just a quick 20 extra damage beyond what it would have taken to kill that guy.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
Wait. Rallying Flare... and some more of my patented Viking incompetence. Rallying Flare de-stealths enemies. I forgot about that. I forgot I could...
Victories mount. So too will resistance.
I could have used Rallying Flare to knock them out of stealth, but I forgot that I could do that. Oops. Oh, one of these. Well, bandages take care of that.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Right. That one requires holy water, which we don't have. And a ghoul. I should have known. Well, the cool thing about a ghoul, it will never be out of range of slice off, and it will never be out of range of sniper shot, because it's 2 spaces wide. I plan to exploit this. Just a little bit.
A singular strike.
And also, between the plus 15% damage in position 1 and the increased accuracy, the leper can occasionally do that. And that's the end of the swine. Let's see if we can stun the ghoul. It's 110% versus 70% resistance, so maybe. Nope, the ghoul gets to attack. And it attacks hard. Well, that won't save you from slice off, and neither will that 40% protection.
The horror.
That'll fix you. I know you're horrified because you're fighting this giant abomination that wears the skulls of its enemies as trophies, but look at the pretty fireworks. Doesn't that make you feel so much better? And there we go.
The greater the glory.
Okay. I'll drop the 300 gold for the portraits. We're not getting much in the way of heirlooms today. We are getting fairly generous scouting, though. Of course, so there were hallway battles in the 2 farthest apart rooms in the dungeon. Of course. Alright, nothing useful I can do with that one. We got hunger. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to have the team rest in the penultimate room in the dungeon. That way we can... At this point, we don't need to rest to finish this mission. The main purpose of resting is to reduce stress treatment costs. Also, between the ones we've disarmed, the one that appeared out of nothing while we were backtracking, and the ones we just kind of avoided, we just drew all the traps today. And fell into most of them. Thank you, Ancestor, I know. You know you're playing badly when the narrator starts to get condescending. Alright, well, let's light up the firewood.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
That's reassuring. And we can afford to feast. And... every rose has its thorn. Reduce everyone's stress a bit. Sanctuary to prevent nighttime ambush, unless, nope, the only nighttime ambush preventing we have is the vessel. Pardon me as I try very hard not to sneeze. And I'll have the leper use reflection. And... I suppose I may as well use pep talk on somebody. And let's rest up. And we've managed to get to the point where...
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
In fact, I'm also going to move the leper back... The leper? Yes, this guy, the leper with the knives and the musical instrument. I'm going to move the jester back one so that he can use Inspiring Tune. Of course, this is assuming the next fight isn't going to be too difficult. I assumed very wrong. Very, very, very wrong. Okay, I'm going to go for the Corpse Eater with Sniper Shot. And now the Jester is stunned and can't get back into position with Dirk Stab this turn. On the other hand, that is a pretty good opening move. Let's see if we can follow that up by stunning... They have the same stun resistance, and the Ghoul is the more dangerous enemy. Okay. Corpse Eater does get to hit us this turn. Okay, Dirk Stab yourself back into position to make up for my mistake. Still going with Divine Comfort for this round, though. And of course that means he gets hit by Tentacle Devour. And now the Ghoul has high enough stun resistance that we just straight up can't stun it. I'm just gonna use Chop and render Mark meaningless. So Sniper's Mark accomplished nothing. Well, having not learned my lesson, I'm using it again. But we're still going to have to rely a bit more on bleeding damage from Slice Off. I really should have just used Battlefield Bandage.
Monstrous size has no intrinsic merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
And Bowen has basically just decided to just ask what the holdup is as he finishes the thing off in one hit. Okay, this is a much more manageable. This is a much more manageable group. All right, one more, and the crazy guy's down. In the meantime, let's use this opportunity to reduce the stress levels a little bit. Alright, Chop. And the Vestal can still use Dazzling Light to keep the more dangerous enemies from acting. Okay.
Exposed to a killing blow.
Alright. And he's using Accusation again.
Festering fear consumes the mind.
And just like how damage over time ignores protection, stress over time ignores resistance granted by buffs, I think. Alright, and Fontamai finishing off the crazy person in style. And Hook Where It Hurts is his only ability. Well, he's visible now.
Sedated.
Oh, Bowen is just getting all of the critical hits today. Alright. And that's the end of the Gorer. Let's see if we can stun that thing. We can. Well, it's only has 30% stun resistance. I'd be a little embarrassed if we failed to stun it. Okay, for anyone who didn't notice, Rallying Flare managed to de-stress no one. That was, like, someone did the math in the comments, that has like a 2.5% chance of failing to de-stress anyone, because it has a 60% chance of de-stressing each person.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Either way, we survived, so back to the hamlet. Oh, and that's when I noticed that there was a chest in there
Their
that I
squeals
concluded.
fade. Their confidence is shaken.
Well, at least we accomplished something, and we have another Tome of Holy Healing. At some point, I'm going to need to take on the Shrieker just to rescue the massive number of trinkets we lost. Though, I mean, 7,300 plus 6,750 is nothing to sneeze at, but that wasn't a terribly successful mission for money or heirlooms. However, 3 people are now champion level again. And the Leper's Rabbit, which reduces his already bad accuracy even further, and he has another disease. Bowen was the MVP of that mission, but he paid for it. I'm not sure which is better, Natural Eye or Faded, for a hero that always uses ranged attacks. Like Faded, I'm guessing it's after it rolls a miss, there's a chance that it will re-roll and not be a miss.
You will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Okay, we have a lot of diseases to treat. Let's start with that. Also, I don't think we have enough heirlooms to upgrade anything. Let's see, what disease do you have? Hysterical blindness. I'm going to hold off on treating that one because that's not actually that bad compared to the other crap people have. Let's treat the leper's rabies and cross our fingers that it also treats the other thing he has. And the Vestal has the runs. Yeah, let's get rid of that. And okay, we only have 3 diseased people, so Koliar can get treated too. So we managed to avoid anyone needing stress treatment, which is good because they're all going to be out for a week anyway due to disease treatment. I'm not sure whether I'd call that a lateral shift or just mitigating the damage. Let's see about upgrading. So, let's see about upgrading Fontamai now that she's a champion. Millicent? Her crossbow gets a name when we max it out. Well, increased speed base, increased critical chance, and some extra damage. I'm going for that. Let's see, how's Sigweir for ability upgrading? She's already pretty good. But Fontamai just reached the level where her abilities can be upgraded. And let's see, Sniper's Mark's reduction in the target's dodge is very good. I do like suppressing fire a lot, but I'm going to upgrade Sniper Shot. And then, who else could we potentially upgrade? How's Adnel doing? Pretty well. How about some of the more medium level people? Koliar is indisposed. How's Patry? Let's see, upgrade Sacrificial Stab and Weakening Curse. And that's really all the gold I want to spend on upgrading things before we start on another mission. And, in the hopes of warding off possible recording issues, I am going to get us up a fresh recording file. I will be back in a moment. I'm just gonna try not to think about that too much. However, the Stagecoach has been kind enough to provide us with a new bounty hunter. So, who do we give up to accept this new bounty hunter? Because I definitely want one. I think I'll drop Daryl. I'll drop Daryl, our seeker occultist. Also, partially just because I find an occultist named Daryl to be just inherently contradictory. So, Daryl is going to have to be taken out behind the shed and dismissed. We're going to dismiss him, and he's definitely going to still be alive. Yeah, that's what's happening. He is moving on. And we can have an adventurer bounty hunter. Because, honestly, Basanj is the hero whose loss is going to be the most severe because he was our only bounty hunter. But, fortunately, we have a replacement. So, let's see what missions are on the docket for today. Let's see. Couple of champion level cove missions. Long champion Ancestor's Pistol. It's ancestral plus 15 accuracy to ranged skills and plus 3 speed, but it also increases stress. Is this the pistol the Ancestor shot himself with? Or I could get a third Sacred Scroll. It's a little redundant. Protective Collar I don't really like. The Sniper's Ring could be good, though. Who could I... Let's see, I think I already have a Sniper's Ring. Let me see. Or did we lose it when someone died? Alright. Yeah, we already have a Sniper's Ring. I can't equip 2 of them, and there's not really much reason to have a second one. The Dodgy Sheath increases dodge at the cost of decreasing the accuracy of ranged skills. You get a debuff amulet or heavy boots. Let's see. You know, stop blocking my controls, Fairfax. I think I'm gonna go for the heavy boots. Oh right, Fontamai is too high level to take on anything that isn't a champion mission. Let's see. I think I'm gonna bring Seguier. What kind of Vestal have we got? Sigmund can be our Vestal. And now I just need a position 1 hero, and now I just need the front people. Let's see. Tinel, just replace Breakthrough with Adrenaline Rush, and you can be our front runner. And then I think Canuville can be our can be the jester for the operation. Let's just drop. Yeah. He still has Battle Ballad. I can deliberately move him back 1 if I want to use Battle Ballad. And then Dirk stab him forward later. Alright, let's equip everyone. I believe... Oh, we do have the Hell's Hairpin. Not really useful at all. Or the Bleeding Pendant, which is actually good. Alright, and then... Let's see... I think the Hag's Ladle could be useful if we ever go back to the Warrens. In the meantime, you know... Honestly, I think the Legendary Bracer is probably our best bet. Yeah, it increases stress, but it also increases damage. And damage is kind of the Helliant's thing. Let's see. And for Canuville, I'll just take Koliar's trinkets. and give them to Canaville. Because the Bloody Dice and the Dark Tambourine are actually really good. For you, let's see, the Antiquarian, the Bag of Marbles, and you know, the Antiquarian is the only one that has a Blight skill. I may as well give her the Hag's Ladle. And for the Vestal, we have a Sacred Scroll, and I know there's a Tome of Holy Healing in here somewhere. I know because we got one in this episode. Let's see. Except I can't find it. Oh, it's right in front of me. That's why I can't find it, because it's exactly where it's supposed to be. Alright. Whatever. And then I accidentally resort everything while I'm trying to close the menu. Alright. It's provision. This is a medium-length mission. So we're in the cove. Let's get a couple of shovels, bit of antivenom, a couple of bandages, not too much of either. Don't need that many medicinal herbs. I forgot that we start with some. Bring some food, a couple of keys, a little holy water. Sell back. Let's keep that. And then, okay, we're good. Nope, you thought I was going to forget torches, didn't you? Nope, I'm not going to forget torches. Alright. Yeah, that actually is everything. Let's do this. I feel like I get this hint every time we adventure in the cove. Like, the game wants to make really, really sure I know that. It's like, believe me. Believe me, I know that thralls will explode. This is a really small map. Unless like every room has a room battle or something, this can't be too bad. Of course, now that I've said that, every room will have a room battle. And on our first encounter, we have a thrall. Lovely. Well, there's festering vapors on the maggots, because blighting them is our best way to kill them. You have no way to hit the thrall, so just do that. Just stacking damage over time is our best bet for killing them. And all I can do for this is hope that this does enough damage, which it didn't. Oh, fuck. Even for me, this is impressively bad. I actually forgot to check which abilities the Vestal had equipped, because I never use Illumination or Hand of Light. Okay, the game has decided to show me some mercy and have the Thrall not explode this turn. Now we are going to be dealing with some brine. Just use Dirk Stab. Okay. The Jester is covering for my incompetence. But not even bothering to check that was impressively bad even by my standards. Let's get back to the default party order, and let's just quick fix that. Okay, there. Now our Vestal has the right abilities equipped. Okay. And we have a fish carcass. How bad are things when finding a fish carcass is good news? Okay, and oh. Let's see. There's not a whole lot that the Antiquarian can do, but I guess she can get to work on the wide mouth. You should not move back when that will put the Vestal in position 1. Just Dirk Stab. Yeah, the Vestal being this far forward is a bit of a problem. And the Hellion being this far backward is also a bit of a problem. Okay, I'm gonna move the Vestal back one. The Hellion is just gonna have to move forward one action at a time until she's in position where she can attack. Whoa. I mean, I would expect an ability named Arterial Pinch to be bad, but 8 damage for 5 rounds? 8 times 5 is... He's bleeding for almost twice his maximum health. He's in some trouble. See if we can finish off the wide mouth, and that'll do it. Alright. Let's use Divine Comfort. Alright. The Hellion is at least sort of in position. She should move forward one more time. And Arterial Punch again. Punch? Arterial Punch is a lot less menacing than Arterial Pinch. I guess you could call that wishful thinking if you wanted to. Okay, we're back into formation, at least sort of. Festering Vapors will take out the Oracle, though it'll take a little while. And this thing has surprisingly low bleeding resistance, considering the fact that it has an exoskeleton. Wait a second. This thing has an exoskeleton. Does it even have veins? Like, normally, exoskeletal creatures, their blood just, like, flows freely within their body. Okay, that damage buff is going to be a bit of a thing. Okay, he's currently taking 6 damage over time, and he has 9 hit points. Let's just finish the job. Okay, he resisted the bleeding this time. Everyone's health is alright. Let's see if we can stun this guy. We cannot. And Arterial Pinch, at least this time on the hero who's more equipped to deal with that. And she resisted it. Alright. And now this is just going to be a... He's not dangerous anymore. It's just going to take a little while to kill him. By himself, we can just fairly rapidly stack damage over time until he dies. Like so. That is still potentially dangerous, though. And the Jester is continuing to have a good time. May as well use Invigorating Vapors. Okay, first of all, the Hellion absolutely needs a bandage. Second of all, I'm going to drop the Onyx and the Jade for the higher value jewels. Third of all, Shovel. Is there anything we could drop that's worth less than 600 gold? Not really. Alright, now back through this hallway where, with my luck, we will probably run into a Shambler or something. Alright, we've managed to not have any ninja crazy people or respawning traps so far. And another one that requires a shovel. Alright. Unfortunately, we've already left a fair amount of wealth behind. Okay, Call of the Deep. Which for the Stingers, with their high speed, is a bit of a problem. Not a whole lot for the Antiquarian to do this time. I want to avoid damaging the front Stinger, unless it's the Jester that's doing it, because as long as it's alive, I can catch the Oracle with Harvest. This also means I want to make sure that the front stinger... I want to avoid damaging the rear stinger. But I also want to make sure that if the front stinger dies, it doesn't die to damage over time or to a critical hit for the same reason. And that was not a critical hit. Perfect. Unfortunately, the corpse is still taking damage over time, and the jester is stunned, so this plan is kinda toast at this point. I did at least manage to get the Oracle bleeding for a fair amount. So the plan only went sort of wrong. Oh. Well, that works. He's not in stealth anymore. Alright, that leaves just the Oracle. And you just use Adrenaline Rush. I really like heroes that can cure their own status effects. Saves on supply items. That's actually one of the things I like about the Plague Doctor is battlefield medicine is pretty useful if I manage to mess up my supplies. The Vestal managed to get critical healing on herself, and also, we kind of have a battle Vestal this time. The Vestal's racked up a bit of a kill count. I'm going to drop the one remaining shovel for a rare antique. In hindsight, maybe it would have been better to drop the holy water, but I mean, no one said I was good at this. I'll drop the holy water for the one portrait. Holy water isn't useless, but it's probably the least useful supply item. Oh, this is even worse than the last ambush. We're even more badly out of formation than we were then. I suppose the one bit of good news is that the Jester can dirk stab his way back into position. In the meantime, who can I reasonably kill who's a serious threat? The Enchantress has the fewest hit points of the things you can target. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please don't fail. Oh, you had to resist it. Seguir, the one time I needed you to fail and you couldn't be bothered to fail. Well. Ho, critical dirk stab. Slice, slice, slice. Okay, the Jester is essentially back in position, and the Vestal's in position. Alright. So nobody has elevated stun resistance, so let's just hit somebody I don't want to deal with next turn. Alright, Harvest. Yeah, the Bulwark is going to need to be the subject of bleeding damage. Alright, there we go. And now I can move T-Nell forward, and I mean half the team spent the turn moving, but we're in formation now. I'm wondering if maybe this is the game telling me that I need to just break down and equip Breakthrough for the Hellion. It'd be a really useful ability, given how often we get thrown out of formation. And Harvest would miss. Alright. Okay. We're at least making progress on them, durable though they are. But we're really going to need abilities like Slice Off and If It Bleeds to deal with the Bulwark. Unfortunately, his bleed resistance is actually pretty good. Oh, Barnacle Barrier. That's cute, because he's already going to die from damage over time. I don't even need to, like, you're defendering someone and I don't even need to attack him anymore. Alright. You know, with Dazzling Light on the Gladiator. This is really making me wish I had a Plague Doctor right now, though, because the Bulwark, in addition to having very high protection, also has some very high bleeding resistance. And he's now out of range of Slice Off, leaving my primary means of attack as Festering Vapors. This could be a bit of a challenge. Well, Dirk stab your way back into position, kind of view. And slowly but surely, the poison is getting to him. A slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving. Alright. Something I'm also realizing, if a hero is taking damage over time, does that actually, like, make a check against their death blow? And they're at death's door and they take damage from damage over time. Does that make a check against their death blow resistance, or do they just die? Because I know that a hero... that is... let me see if I can remember how to talk. I know that a hero who is... they have a heart attack, they just die, and there's no death blow check, so their death blow resistance doesn't factor into surviving a heart attack if they have a heart attack when they have 0 hit points. I don't know if the same thing is true of damage over time, though. Also, I'm going to drop the anti-venom for the crests. I'll leave the 1,000 gold. And that was it. Well, I don't feel like pushing my luck, partially because I've just realized that it's not recording the desktop audio, so all you've been hearing for the last 20 minutes is me talking, and I should probably fix that. So let's just get back to the Hamlet, and then I'll see what I can do to fix that problem. Just quick accumulate all of the rewards. Only 8,600 gold, even with a antiquarian. Still not too bad. And nobody gained a resolve level. We got some experience. Woo! The Hellion is unyielding. That's pretty good. And we have another disease. Admittedly not terribly dangerous of a disease, because all it does is reduces his virtue chance, and virtue chance is always 0. Am I about to have a hard crash? I am.
Cast out from the civilized world, these men may yet be of use to us.
Alright, I am back after first the audio failing to record, and then the game's deciding to crash on me. And as you can tell, the sound is back! Yay! And apparently we can get some... There's a sale on lepers, apparently, if we want them. But honestly, we already have 2 of them. I'd say we're okay for lepers for now. However, I have another disease I need to treat. Canuville. I mean, ennui isn't that good, but I guess that big of a deal, because like I said, virtue chance is always 0. But honestly, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. Also, now that we have a champion level Jester, let's upgrade Koliar's Slash and Solo. Well, let's see about upgrading some of his abilities. My personal favorite being Harvest. Though Slice Off is rather nice too. Let's see, who else to upgrade? Vastal is essentially maxed out, I think. Emery is... I suppose I can upgrade Cry Havoc. Alright. How's Swordaval? I could upgrade Swordaval's Crush, and I think that'll be enough upgrading. Now let's look into upgrading buildings. Be a while before we can upgrade the Sanitarium. How about the Abbey? Nope. Well, we're close. I mean, we have an excess of portraits, but I think that even if we traded away all of our portraits and deeds, we wouldn't quite be able to make it. And I imagine the situation in the tavern is fundamentally the same. Well, I could upgrade the brothel. Let's upgrade the brothel.
All manner of diversion and dalliance await those who cross the threshold with coin in hand.
However, that's all we can really afford to do. So, I'd say it's time for another quest. I mean, after the shortest medium-length quest ever. We do need to make progress in the Cove or the Warrens. So my options are either... We've done two veteran level missions, so my options are either an apprentice level mission to give the noobs a chance to stretch their legs, or a champion level mission with some of our new champion people. Let's see. They'll get us bumper crop. I don't remember offhand what bumper crop does, but doing a collection mission at champion difficulty to me seems kind of like asking for trouble. You get the same town event no matter what the difficulty level is, and we're still kind of recovering a bit from the damage we took to our operation. So I think I'm going to go with one of these two. I can either get the Scouting Whistle, which increases scouting if the torch level is low, but also increases trap disarm chance, or the Book of Relaxation, which is pretty alright, but... honestly, I think I'll go for the Cleanse mission because it's medium length, so we'll get more Resolve experience, and because busts that are more valuable than crests and we get more gold. So the next question is, who do we bring? Gillian, would you happen to know... You do not know Vulnerability Hex. What good are you, then? Let's see. The other question is, do we have... What kind of healing people do we have at low level? Alright. Let's see. Let's actually pop back to the estate for a moment. Pop over to the guild. And teach Gillian the first level of Vulnerability Hex and upgrade Weird Reconstruction points. He's going to be the main healer. So... let's drop Hands from the Abyss in exchange for Vulnerability Hex. And then we're also bringing Drulin, our new bounty hunter, with Collect Bounty, Come Hither, Flashbang, and Caltrops. I'm going to drop Caltrops from Marked for Death. And then Flashbang could still be useful. And then in the front, I'll bring Altard. And now the question is, who goes all the way in the back? Alright. I can't bring the Abomination all the way in the back. Let's see. We're kind of lacking in people who can comfortably be in position 4. However, if I drop Incision for Emboldening Vapors, now Tourneveil can operate fine all the way in the rear. So instead of one really good healer, we have a whole bunch of mediocre healers. Alright. Do some provisioning. One more medicinal herbs, handful of shovels. Little anti-venom and a few bandages, don't need a lot of either. A couple of keys. I'm not even bothering with holy water for this one. It's so rare to have a useful interaction with it. It's not worthless, but I just have not gotten a whole lot of benefit from holy water over the course of these missions. And go forth, team of noobs! Tentacled lurkers lie in wait just below the water's surface, but apparently it's possible to disarm them if you're skilled at
These
disarming
salt-soaked
traps.
caverns are teeming with pelagic nightmares.
Whoa.
They must be flushed out.
Okay, I'm gonna gamble. There's definitely a room battle here. I suppose there's a very small chance that there isn't one in any of these 3 rooms, so let's go this way. Also, we already have a lot of obstacles.
Another mariner? Another misfortune.
I mean, we already spent plenty of coin on swarthy men and sturdy shovels. Honestly, we spent more money on the shovels than on the men. Alright, and first hallway battle. What do we get? Okay, so you're human, and you're marked. You are about to die very quickly. Even an inexperienced bounty hunter can still do stuff like that. Alright. And the Deep Stinger dies on its next turn, so the Cultist Acolyte is the only threat. And since she's human, Collect Bounty deals extra damage even if she is
Press disadvantage.
not a lot of extra damage. Yep.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
And the new bounty hunter is already acquitting himself well.
Glittering gold, trinkets and baubles, paid for in blood.
You hear that, guys? That torch was paid for in blood, and then I just set it on fire. Okay, the Pelagie Guardian is going to be the thing. Especially since we have, I don't know, we do have a Plague Doctor, and I think we're going to need him. Alright. And another one of those lovely 1 damage criticals. On the other hand, the Brawler's already in some bad shape. I forgot how little bleeding damage Rend for the Old Gods inflicts at this level. Like, I'm used to it inflicting an amount of bleeding damage that I have to take seriously, but I can just ignore this. I think that's why it took me a while to even realize that it caused bleeding damage like earlier in this playthrough. And now it's time for an old classic, Plague Grenade. Let's see. I'm actually just gonna hit the crazy guy with vulnerability X in preparation for when the guys in front of me keel over.
Decimated.
Like so. And now he's in range. See, I planned that critical hit. I knew that there was going to be a critical hit right then, and that's why I set that up, because of magic. Alright. And let's just stick with Plague Grenade.
Annihilated.
Now let's see if weird reconstruction causes bleeding. And may as well use Solemnity to reduce the level of stress. So that means the grouper is going last.
Slowly, gently.
I'm used to the enemies being faster than
taken.
Never tried holy water on one of these. Let's see what a torch would do. I got nothing. And more scouting. But not enough to tell me what's in this room. Well, we're gonna find out. Okay, this is not exactly playing to the bounty hunters or the lepers' strengths in this group. Then again, vulnerability hooks reduces the dodge so that we can at least comfortably hit the stinger. Of course, that assumes the debuff lands, but it did. And blight. And there we go.
Executed with impunity.
Honestly, I really should have used Noxious Blast on the Sea Maggot. Also, its speed is -5. What does that even mean? I guess that's because your speed can be reduced, but it can never be reduced below 0, so the maggot will always go last even when other people's speed has been reduced. So that's just weird. Its speed is actually a negative number. Well, that's the end of the shaman, but the grouper is healed. Or I guess it's because since there's a degree of randomness to the turn order, a speed of -5 is to make absolutely sure it always goes last. Okay. Here's we'll use weird reconstruction on the Plague Doctor. And he's bleeding. He's admittedly not bleeding for very much, though he loves to whine about it. There'll be plenty of blood left for the leeches to reveal, don't you worry. And let's use Noxious Blast and see if we can't undercut the Sea Maggot's plate protection. And now everyone is about. Now we just need to wait for the poison to do its work. Everyone's just about to keel over on their own. Alright, battlefield medicine. Cure your own bleeding. Don't even need to use supply items.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
I love being able to just kick back and...
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
I love being able to just kick back and watch the enemies just kind of keel over
In
on their
Radiance,
own for
may
an
we
entire
find
round
victory.
of combat. I'll get that corpse on the way back. Because we still need to see what's in this room. Ooh, we could fight a Shambler. I'm actually kind of inclined to do that, honestly. Alright, vulnerability hex to get rid of the Deep Stinger's excessive evasion. And it resisted that part of it. Looks like we're gonna have to do this the hard way. In the meantime, I'll just let the Plague Doctor handle the Shaman. Ooh, shocking, it stunned Gilead.
Be gone, fiend.
Alright. And Hugh has the same accuracy as Chop, so... but it can remove the corpse. And Noxious Blast. And that should be the end of the Shaman. Yep.
Slow death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
And the Deep Stinger decided it needed to avenge its compatriot.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
So we're gonna grab the deed instead of the emerald this time. Okay, no enemies, which means we have to go back this way. I've decided it's time to take some risks. Let's light up the firewood.
A spark without kindling is a goal without hope.
Well, let's feast. And... alright, this is how we do it for the bounty hunter. Increases accuracy and critical rate. Planned takedown increases damage and accuracy versus size 2. And scout ahead increases scouting chance. Alright, this leopard doesn't have the ability to reflection. I'm going to start with Unspeakable Commune, just because I don't want any more midnight surprises. We can tolerate that level of stress. Then I'm going to use Planned Takedown. And this is how we do it. And then, Not really sure what else to do with the rest of the time. I may as well have used Bloody Shroud for the leper. And rest.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Right. And we already have some stuff that we can loot now because we made more inventory space. And moment of truth time. Let's see if we can pull this off.
Behold the infinite malignity
of
the stars.
Alright, I'm actually, even though we're out of formation, I'm still using Vulnerability X. And Noxious Blast, its blight resistance is only 40%. And that somehow was enough to resist that. And Collect Bounty. Obadgerous Advancement. Alright. Just gonna move the leper forward. The background is honestly making me a little dizzy. Alright. What's its move resistance? Its move resistance is only 50%. So I can pull it into position. The minions are gonna keep using abilities like Clapper Claw. She's a bandage, and then I'm gonna have the Plague Doctor keep trying to blight this thing. Because he can blight it for a lot if he succeeds. Okay, we're back into formation now. And chop. Whoa.
The ground quakes.
That's what we need. That kind of damage is what we need everybody to be doing. We might be able to pull this off. Of course, we also need to deal with the sycophants, but we can deal with them once the main Shambler is gone, so we can't resummon them. Alright, collect bounty to another good, comfortable 16. Weird reconstruction on the leper. My luck had to turn around at some point, and I guess this was that point. It healed for 0. Okay, he's already blighted for 10. At this point, we pretty much need to hit him with anything. Or not! You managed to do 1 fewer points of damage than I needed you to. And now we still have to deal with the sycophants. They're the ones that do the real damage. And Tourneville is at death's door. I guess I'm about to get an answer to my question.
Hold fast or expire.
Okay, let's use Come Hither on one of the sycophants. Because the Shambler itself is...
Survival is a tenuous proposition.
I suppose technically I still don't know. Sacrificial Stab would miss. I suppose technically I still don't know whether or not, I'm actually gonna use Solemnity. Whether or not that was a death blow check that he failed, or whether it didn't even check.
Worlds is no place for mortal men.
Still, whoa.
A hand's breadth from becoming unwound.
And here we go again. And again. Haha, powerful. He may be about to die, though.
Power. Unleash it.
Okay, I know the answer now, at least. So, it's just a death blow check. You're not guaranteed. I mean, he's at death's door and he just got healed for 0. He's probably fucked. And the sycophants have frustratingly high evasion.
Injury and despondence set the stage for heroism or cowardice.
And that's the end of. We are just gonna cull the noobs today, apparently.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay. And a 5 damage critical. Well, if we can survive one more hit, we should be able to kill this thing. Okay.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Ancestor's Scroll. Plus 25% healing, plus 25% stress skills, plus 10% stress, as well as a survival guide. Well, that happened. I take the survival guide, but there's only two. We came in here with 4 people, and there's only 2 of us now. Realistically, there's at least one more room battle somewhere in here. I don't think these 2 guys can handle it by themselves, especially since there could easily be more than one. So we did beat the Shambler, and we got probably a pretty valuable trinket, but this is going to be the end for this mission. We're not going to be able to finish this mission. We still got a decent amount of loot, at least.
Beauty. It is the fire that tempers.
I mean, we got some heirlooms, we got some gold in addition to a pretty valuable trinket, but that was not a success. Though Drulin is a clutch hitter now.
Once, our estate was the envy of this land.
Let's see, we can get some new heroes. What do we have the fewest of? Let's see, so sort of all, sort by class. Okay, we have 3 grave robbers, we don't need another one. We only have 1 plague doctor. Well, let's see, of the things that we can get, so we could get a man-at-arms, an antiquarian, a houndmaster, a grave robber, or a hellion. We don't need a grave robber because we already have 3. We don't need an antiquarian because we already have 2. So, I believe we only have 1 man-at-arms, that being Sordaval, the man who refuses to die. Where are our hellions? We have 2 hellions. And how many houndmasters do we have? We have 2 houndmasters. So, definitely taking the man-at-arms.
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
And then, do I want a 3rd houndmaster or a 3rd hellion? Honestly, I've had more luck with hellions than I have with houndmasters, so I'll get the hellion.
Barbaric rage and unrelenting savagery make for a powerful ally.
Under some circumstances. Anyway, ending on that slightly sour note, though we did kill the Shambler. Let it be remembered, we did eventually manage to kill the Shambler. But that's going to be the end for this part. Thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.